And if you look at that team too, the weapons down there, it's kind of like he's starting over from scratch. So, and obviously too, like in Indianapolis, the owner just hated Carson Wentz. It was almost from the moment he got there.
Weird.
I don't know if that was the vaccine, he wouldn't get vaccinated or what.
I think it was.
But the owner, or he got hurt early, but the owner absolutely hated him.
Got the Mac and Mac guys, McMullen and McDonald here with you on Birds 365. We are joined by our buddy from the Delco Times, Bob Grotz, who's out and about on the road. Where you going, Grotz?
I'm headed to New Orleans. I couldn't get an airfare to the Final Four, so I figure I'll get started now. I should get there around the second half of the Villanova game.
You're just a lion dog. Why would you do that to our loyal viewers?
I'm not lying. I got easy
to get a Slurpee. Come on, admit it. You're not going to
got easy pass.
You're going to get a Slurpee.
No, he's got knowing Bob. He's going to get a coffee.
Yeah, the Eagles think they got.
We lost Bob. That's not a good sign.
And he hasn't even gotten anywhere close to New Orleans.
No, but we got that.
He probably hasn't gotten over the Pennsylvania
Maybe
Delaware.
He is. Maybe he's going over the Pontchartrain. What is the lake?
There we go.
There we go.
I'm back.
Yeah,
I can still see the sun through the sunroof, so we know he's not in the Baltimore tunnel yet on the way down to New Orleans.
Yeah, the Inner Harbor Tunnel. We're going to lose you in the tunnel.
Yeah, I hope my credit card works with the Easy Pass. Jeez, I hope the autofill. I could end up. This could be ugly. So what's going on, fellas? My favorite morning show.
Oh, come on! Is
serious.
That your April Fool's Day joke?
No, I'm absolutely serious. Yeah, I forgot about that. I'm too old for that April Fool's stuff.
New Orleans was his April Fool's joke. He's already got one. You want to load him up for another one, Johnny Mac?
Po' boy sandwiches. Oh my God, Acme Oyster House. I could stay there forever. And just my God, and then there's all the entertainment. I won't even go into the entertainment. It's too much.
Yeah. Bob's got a lot of great stories. We can't tell them on the air. One of my favorites
not from there. Yeah.
No, not even. We actually could here, but let's go.
You know what? Yeah, the Eagles. Every game I covered of the Eagles down there, they never won a big game down there. I've been there for a couple playoff games, never won. You know, it's tough every time they go in that Mercedes-Benz Dome. They're not going to play the Final Four in that though.
Now you led me into a good question. The Eagles playoffs games in New Orleans. Were you there when Randall in Kelly Green got beat by the New Orleans Saints? That was a Kotite team many moons ago. Were you there that day? And while you're at it, tell us.
Oh, no. Jody, they won that game. Do you remember?
Oh,
remember they took Jerome Brown's stuff out of his locker. He had passed away tragically that summer, and they took his gear out of his locker. They kept his locker at the vet all year, and they transported it to New Orleans. And, the Eagles won that game, but Bobby Hebert threw like 4 interceptions. So, and 3 of them were in the fourth quarter. So you could say they
have won playoff games in New Orleans. So you're lying to us.
Well,
you've been there when they won big games as in a playoff game.
Yeah. You know what? I forgot about that. That was 93 or 92? 92. 92. That was such a long time ago. Oh my God. Kotite was the coach.
Buddy was 90 was his last year, so it had to be 91, 92.
No, it was definitely Kotite. It was definitely Kotite.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, we know it's not Buddy winning a playoff game. So you know that.
Yeah.
So you know that.
He had some tough times.
All right, so tell me what you think of Kelly Green. You're all excited. That's the Eagle color, right, Bob Grotz?
No, I like the new stuff better, Jody. I don't like the Kelly Green stuff. Did you see, and speaking of Kelly Green, though, did you see that shirt that Nick Sirianni wore to his presser down there? That was a Kelly Green knockoff, was it not?
No.
It was. That guy.
Like about a 20-year-old Kelly Green shirt that had been through the wash.
You know what? I'm telling you, I've mentioned this to John before. This guy's getting a little bit too close to management here. with the fist bumps up on the podium, and now he's wearing Kelly Green to tip off the. He's just, you got to.
I'm just happy.
Keep a healthy distance away from management because they're not always your friend.
They're gonna stick the knife in your back at some point, and they're gonna twist it. Yeah, he'll learn.
I don't know. I don't know what this is. Is this naivety, or I think he genuinely feels that? But my God, we know how this can change.
Yeah. Oh, Jeffrey even said it. He said, who knows what the future holds, right? He's like, if you go back to his effusive love of Doug Peterson and Carson Wentz, and then boom, I mean, they're out the door. They are sticking that knife in deep, and they're twisting it on the way out. So now everything's copacetic with Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts. But Jeffrey Lurie's very savvy. Who knows what the future holds, right? He knows.
That's not fair to group Carson Wentz and Doug Peterson together.
No,
Carson Wentz talked his way out of town, slammed his fist on the desk, as a matter of fact, and Doug Peterson just said,
"No, I
want to keep a coach," and they both got the same stab in the back, shiv all the way up to their neck.
They didn't get the same. I meant the effusive praise. Doug is the one who got the shiv. Carson didn't get the shiv.
Yeah, and Carson, you know what? It's kind of funny, too, because every time Jeffrey Lurie gets a question about Carson Wentz, he always talks about that great near MVP season, but not all the resources it took to get one season out of him,
Yeah.
And the Browns were right. Everybody was laughing at the Browns.
Everybody killed Paul DePodesta. Killed
everybody. Everyone was laughing at the Browns. It's the Browns.
But John, they should have killed him because at the time it was a bad decision by the Browns. You mean you're going to judge it after the fact when all the results are in?
I don't know about that,
guys. You got to just be in the moment and make your decision then.
You manipulate things to a ludicrous degree, Jody McDonough. I tell Jody that the Eagles signed Carson Wentz to a good contract. That's it. And he manipulates it into, I think everything's good in the time.
Yeah,
they signed him to a good deal. They got the player evaluation wrong. That's all. I think it's simple.
They did. I mean, they signed him early. And you do that, it's always cheaper. It's always less expensive to sign him early. But they did. They got the evaluation totally wrong. They just they couldn't figure it out. And there were red flags all over the place, It's not, especially
what the biggest red flag was, Bob? You remember when they announced that signing, the awkward Jeffrey Lurie and Carson Wentz video they put on social media? That was the red flag. That was the biggest red flag of all. That was the most awkward thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, that was, and Carson wore that skinny tie that day. Yeah, he was not ready for that extension or anything. I mean, he was. Yeah, he couldn't find the words because I think he was a little scared. Just hearing him say that he wanted to finish his career in Philadelphia, I couldn't believe that. I started rolling my eyes at that. But, we will find.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
go ahead, Bob.
We will find out about Jalen Hurts and what he's got under the hood. More about him this year. Although I still think he is what he is. He's a decent quarterback, but he's not the guy that is going to take you to the Super Bowl. That's what I believe.
Then what is the chance that, although we may all think that Carson Wentz is a lost cause and not up for doing what he needs to do, what's the chance that we can at some point say, hey, that trade by the Commanders for Carson Wentz, boy, they gave up less than the Eagles got in return. Can Carson Wentz lead the Commanders to the promised land because there's so much other chaos going on down in Washington? Carson in his own little flighty self could fly under the radar and perform very well this year for the Commanders.
I don't think you can fly under the radar down there, Jody. It's just there's just too much drama all the time, and I really think that Ron Rivera is getting tired of it. So, but would it surprise me if they and the Eagles challenged to see who finished higher in the NFC East? No, it wouldn't. Carson Wentz, he's not a bad quarterback. He's an average guy and who's had injury problems. So, and if you look at that team too, the weapons down there, it's kind of like he's starting over from scratch. So, and obviously too, like in in Indianapolis, the owner just hated Carson Wentz. It was almost from the moment he got there.
Weird.
I don't know if that was the vaccine, he wouldn't get vaccinated or what.
I think it was.
But the owner, or he got hurt early, but the owner absolutely hated him. And he started talking about him before he even got on the field. He started saying disparaging things. So that put pressure on everybody. That's not good. And that guy Irsay, I mean, he's not, when he starts talking, he doesn't stop. He's relentless, So, Carson Wentz won't have to deal with that this season. But there's, like I said, there's so much drama in Washington. I don't see how a quarterback can. That's kind of the place quarterbacks go to die right now.
Yeah. And we had Grant Paulson on yesterday, covers Washington, the Commanders. And he noted, as bad as Carson played at the end of last season, he's still a significant upgrade for the Washington football team. Now, I'm going to give you a positive, Bob. Warren Sharp, who's one of those analytic guys, we've had him on the show, does a great strength of schedule. It's not your typical, he's not just adding up the team's records from the previous year. They try to factor in opponents and everything else. They came out with their easiest and hardest schedules yesterday, Bob. Number one for easiest schedule is those Washington Commanders. Number three, the Philadelphia Eagles. The third easiest schedule in the NFL. And for you, Jody, by the way, the Jets, 31st most difficult.
Wow.
But the Eagles had the easy schedule last year. They're shaping up to have the easy schedule this year. Why can't they be a little bit better than expected? Why does everybody say this team can't do this team can't do that? Jalen Hurts isn't this, Jalen Hurts isn't that. They're getting breaks playing in this NFC East.
Yeah, they sure are, and that's a big reflection of that. What was Dallas's strength of schedule?
I'd have to look it up. They
put
the
were
top
they top
five.
10?
They put the top five easiest up in the top five.
Right.
Top five most difficult, but I'll find it.
Yeah. No, but I mean that kind of stuff. Yeah. Wow. It's hard for me to just
Dallas
sit here
is sixth easiest.
think about 10 wins.
Yeah, it's NFC East because they all play in this division.
Right. It's
Washington has the easiest
division they're in.
Eagles third easiest projection wise. Cowboys 6, Giants 8.
Yeah. There you go. The Giants. Yeah. Well, I think all those teams are going to be better, though. The NFC East, they have to.
They can't all be better. They
all cratered last year. Well, except for the Eagles.
Well, Dallas didn't crater. The Eagles.
Yeah. Well,
the Eagles.
No, they didn't. But I mean, if you look at the end of the season,
in the playoffs.
Yeah, look at the end of their season. Wow, they did. They were all over the place. So, but they were clearly the best team in the division. They're obviously. I mean, it's hard for me, though, like I was saying, to sit here and think that the Eagles could win 10 games, go 10-7. But that could happen with that schedule, especially if the quarterbacks don't work out. Who's the second best quarterback in the NFC East right now? Carson Wentz?
Jalen
Hurts, I guess.
Okay. Well,
yes.
That's why
we shall see. That's going to be the part of the drama this year. But I do see the Eagles. Nick Sirianni, for all of his for all of that that affinity he has for being a punchline, he knows how to limit mistakes, and he's very disciplined. And the second half of that season last year, the Eagles really didn't beat themselves, so they let the other teams kind of beat themselves, and they caught a lot of breaks. They caught, like, how many teams at the end with COVID? They were going against third string quarterbacks who were, fresh off the streets, but they didn't beat themselves, and that was significant. However, I still think when I look at what they're trying to do and what they had to switch to, that running game last season, that tells me that they don't think there's that much upside with Jalen Hurts throwing the ball. The way that they protected him, as they should have, that kind of tells me that. And you can say the receivers, it was because of that, but they had a couple of pretty good weapons there. Goddard and also Devontae Smith.
And Devontae, a real good player.
And you saw Devontae Smith's frustration in that Giants game, about not getting the ball. They got to figure that out, and the quarterback's got to figure that out too. So they don't have that much confidence, in my opinion. They don't have the confidence in Jalen, and I don't really see that changing a lot this year.
Well, then I'll ask you 2 draft questions off that. Number one, if they don't have, you just said they don't have that much confidence in Jalen. Do you believe they're going to use one of their 3 first-round draft picks on a quarterback? If they don't have confidence, aren't they kind of obligated to take a quarterback?
That's a tough question. First round, here's what I could see.
They're going to wait to the second round, which is exactly where they put Jalen and go, let's get our new second-round pick in as the starting quarterback of the rookie. Is that a plan for success?
Yeah, well, I could see them dropping back, trading one of those first round picks, dropping back, getting an early second, and if Sam Howell is there, bang, here he goes.
You're another one on the Sam Howell bandwagon.
They
can't play. Can't play.
Yeah, they have some interest in him. Yeah. What? Watching him last season, I would almost tend to agree. But he's got. If you look at,
I don't like that offense. I didn't like watching North Carolina play.
Yeah, you look at the skill set that he has. He could be a little bigger. He's not. That's my biggest concern. But he gets rid of the ball fast. He makes real quick reads, and he used to shuffle his feet all the time, get those happy feet. Doesn't do it anymore. If you watch some of the video of him now, he just gets back there and he's real patient. That's when he's in the pocket, and he just. If that receiver's not open right away, he goes to a second read. I'm impressed with him, but all that said, he's not. He's not.
I'm not impressed with Sam Howell.
Yeah.
Well, let's get to the draft and see if he actually comes here to Philadelphia. Then we'll microanalyze him. My other draft question was, if not a quarterback, could you say they can wait to the second round and be able to get him? Will they come out of this draft with not a project, but a pretty much given as per their high level of talent evaluation going into the draft? Will they come out of this draft with a top flight edge pass rusher?
Yeah, I think so. I think they still will. Yeah. I think some of those guys are going to drop a little bit. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with the receivers too. I wouldn't be surprised if they went receivers. The cornerbacks, there's another place where the Eagles could grab somebody. So, this is wide open. I don't see how you could mess up a draft with those 3 picks where they are. And I think Howie is, all you have to do, you trust your evaluations of the players, and then you could put 2 or 3 names in a hat for every one of those picks, 15, 16, and 19, and you would come out with a good player. But I think they will trade one of the picks. But I think they could still get an edge rusher, and there's a lot of them first round. That's possibility, but I'd be surprised if they use package to pick to move up and get a pass rusher. I don't see that happening. So I see them kind of standing pat or maybe moving around a little bit, but not moving up.
Yeah, that was my question, Bob. You kind of answered it, but Devontae Smith, if you look at what they did last year, they only moved up 2 spots to get Devontae Smith. They moved down, then they moved back up, if people remember. But they had mentioned they had 5 players that they targeted in that range that they was going to draft. Kyle Pitts, which was a joke.
Yeah, that wasn't going to happen.
The 2 corners, J.C. Horn, Patrick Surtain came off the board. Jalen Waddle came off the board early. Devontae was the last one.
Yeah, they wanted Waddle too.
Yeah, Jalen Waddle. Yeah. And they moved up the board. Devontae was the last one. They said, all right, we got to go get him. Could that happen this year? Small move up if they target 5 players with that first pick, 15 overall. Could they make that small move up?
Yeah, they could do that. They have enough draft picks to do that. What do they have, 10? They got like 10 or 11? Yeah, I mean, they got the ammunition to do that. I could see something like that. But, I mean, to make a big jump up the board, and I don't see them using 2 first-round picks to make that move up. But, this is going to be I think they're in really good shape coming out of this draft. I just kind of, and maybe Jeffrey Lurie is right about this coaching staff, and he has confidence they'll develop players. I've always said that the Doug Peterson staff, they wouldn't wait for anybody, but it seems like, yeah, they wouldn't. I mean, if you made a mistake, I mean, you were just buried, and but I think that all this stuff, it adds intrigue. I don't think that this is a Super Bowl contender by any means, but they're going to be better than the team that finished 9-8. Now, what kind of a 9-8 was that? Well, I think we'll find out this year too, because I do think all those teams in the NFC East are going to be better. I think Daniel Jones is going to be better. I don't know what the Giants have some pretty good picks there. We'll see. They got a rookie GM doing what's his name? Joe Shane or Joe Schoen or
is the way
right. I mean, we'll see what he's got, but Howie, for all the criticism he gets, he's a great wheeler and dealer, and it kind of surprised me that he couldn't get any closer to any of those top quarterbacks in this offseason with all that ammunition and all that savvy that he has.
They didn't want to play here sometimes.
Exactly.
They didn't want to play.
They didn't have the chance.
That tells me some stuff right there. I mean, there's something about it.
All right, Bob Grotz, again, always being Mr. Positivity that I am. If you are right that the Eagles are going to probably trade down, you don't think they're trading up, trading down, maybe even out of the first round, so they may end up with only 2 first-round picks. How's it going to go over with Eagle Nation when the Eagles take another offensive lineman with one of those 2 picks?
Yeah, there are some good ones. I don't think anybody would be happy with that, but there's some quality guys there.
They didn't want Lane Johnson.
But here's where I'll stick up for Eagle Nation. They've got the best offensive line coach in the National Football League who makes water into wine, a.k.a. Jordan Mailata. Why the hell would you use a first-round draft pick on an offensive lineman? All you got to do is turn him over to Stoutland. Take him in the 6th round and watch him make a Pro Bowler. Why would you do that, Howie?
They do need a right tackle, because I don't know how much longer you can rely on Lane Johnson. He gets hurt a lot. Just a tremendous talent when he's healthy, but I don't think you can. He's not gonna. When was the last time he went 16 games? It's been a while. Maybe the champ. Yeah,
they're so deep, Bob. If Lane retired today, they just put Jordan Mailata at right tackle and let Andre Dillard go at left tackle.
Oh,
people would love that, huh?
Yeah, I don't
people
know.
Forget Andre's here. I'll end it with that. Bob Grotz. Follow Bob on Twitter at Bob Grotz, Delaware County Times. Is Andre Dillard going to be here after draft weekend?
Yeah, I think he will. I mean, I don't think people are beating down the doors for him. Even a 3rd-day pick. I'm sure they would have let him go for that. So I think he'll be around. He's depth.
I think they might get maybe a 4th-round pick for him. I think
he'll be around.
4th-round pick.
I don't know if you could get a 4th. Yeah, maybe a conditional 6th or something like that.
Ooh.
Yeah, he's not really in that rotation, and I'm not trying to rip him. He's done just for him to have survived this long. That tells me something about the heart. He does have a heart. I mean, because his skill set is not nearly there with Lane Johnson, Jordan Mailata, but the guy keeps. You just can't count him out of a job. But I don't see him challenging anytime soon. He's clearly established himself as a backup.
Was Andre Dillard a good draft pick on draft day?
Oh no, that
they
represents
up
all.
To get Andre
they
Dillard.
Traded up to get him. Was it a good draft pick on that day?
No, it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't.
And you arrive at that decision how?
Well, there was just mass confusion in the organization.
Yeah. Nobody thought he would be there. Jeffy said we didn't do any work on him. He basically said,
Jody, like the weekend before, all of a sudden they realized that this guy was dropping, and they wanted to find out why, and they didn't find out why.
Yeah, that's one of the Eagles
until after the draft.
The due diligence. All we do due diligence on everybody. Well, they didn't do due diligence on Andre Dillard because they didn't think he'd be there. And then all of a sudden he was there and they said, oh, let's go get him. He's really good. Yeah, that's why. The process was wrong, Jody.
Sometimes the process is right, and yet you get a wrong result. Sometimes the process is wrong. Sometimes you get a right result. Sometimes the process is wrong, and you get a wrong result. It's wrong on both ends, and that's exactly who Andre Dillard was. But Johnny Mack liked him in preseason this year.
He's a starting left tackle.
That he looked good at camp.
There are a lot of bad left tackles in the NFL. He is a starting left tackle in the NFL. Now, bottom 10 starting left tackle, but there are a lot of.
Then how is he going to be an Eagle at the end of the?
I don't think he is going to be an Eagle. That's Grotz. Take that up with Grotz. I think he's getting a 4th round pick.
All right, we'll have to see if that
look
is.
Look at the face. He's crazed with me.
And he played a tune before his face went to that. Did you hear his phone?
Yeah,
playing a happy tune.
I think they're getting a 4th round pick for Andre Dillard at some point.
That also should be added into the evaluation of whether Andre Dillard as a pick and the contract. Well, the contract really doesn't matter because you're locked in as a 1st round draft pick. You got to pay him what you got to pay him. They're slotted as is. But what they get in return for him, 4th round pick for a 1st round pick 4 years later.
Yeah, they got the evaluation wrong. In this case, they didn't evaluate basically. They just thought, that's what you do in the draft, especially, I forget where they were at that point. They were in the 20s. I think it was 22, maybe. I'd have to look it up, but you can be honest with yourself. Like now, you're not going to get Aiden Hutchinson if you're the Eagles. I mean, so what are you going to waste your time with? Now, that's obviously an extreme example, but there's a group of players you're not going to have an opportunity to get, so you don't spend much time on them. Andre Dillard was in that category, and the Eagles drafted him anyway, which was kind of a surprise. There's Bob. Put Bob back up.
We're going to put him up for one last second just to say goodbye to him.
There we go.
Hey, you guys, somebody put me backstage. Is it something I said?
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what we threw. We threw you backstage, pal. All right, how far have you made the Delaware line yet on the way to New Orleans?
Yeah. Oh, I'm way past that. I don't know where I am right now because the GPS is a little bit awry. All right, I'll catch you guys later, though. Always a pleasure being on.
All right, thanks, Bob
Grotz.
Appreciate it.
It's always fun whenever he comes on. We appreciate Bob Grotz. All right, McMullen, McDonald, we got to take a quick break. Don't forget, coming up in about 15, 18 minutes, we're going to finish off our divisional look. We had John Machota from Dallas on to talk about the Cowboys earlier in the week. Had Grant Paulson did a real nice job getting us up to date with what the Commanders have done this offseason. Today, we take a big blue look at the Giants. Pat Leonard from the New York Daily News is going to hop aboard with us here on Birds 365 about 15 minutes from now.